right, friends, here we are on video number 5 of me explaining how I've moved my kid from the public school to the community college to finish out high school. In videos 1 through 4, I gave some background about what happened, what our story was, and in the last video, I started with these steps explaining the planning and enrolling, um, the actual steps to what you're going to do. So the video number 4, I went through number 1, 2, 3, and 4. We finished number 4 where we created this planning sheet. Now, I am a software engineer and I'm in front of my computer all day. And so I know how to use spreadsheets. So I wrote all this stuff down in a spreadsheet. I created some calculations, but I just want to let you guys know, like, you can do this by hand. This isn't any kind of, you can just get yourself a notebook. You can write this stuff down and add it up, and then you can come in here and do this planning with a pencil and paper. I'm here trying to show you guys how to do it. But you don't need to have this level of expertise with Google Sheets or Excel to do this. So please don't get discouraged if you're not able to do it in this fashion. I just want to be diligent with what I'm showing you and be honest and make sure that everything is working out okay. So here we go. Where we're starting today is we're selecting a community college degree plan. Okay, so in my earlier video, I explained how where we're going to get the bang for our buck if our child is university bound is by making sure that the classes that we choose for to finish out the requirements that we have for high school are the classes that are on the plan for college. So every one of these videos I use a different college, and I'm doing this purposely because I don't want anybody to say, well, your kid went to X community college, so this is only, applies to your community college. I'm telling y'all, this is every community college in the state of Texas. The websites are all fairly similar, so just walk with me, and then when you go and find out what community college you're zoned to, then you're just going to follow similar steps. You have to be able to read and sift through this information, but pretty much all these college websites have the same information on them. Okay, so today we're talking about Lone Star College. Lone Star College has a programs of study link right at the very first page. I just went to lonestar.edu. Bam, right here is telling you the programs of study. If I go to browse the programs of study, and I just start scrolling, I can see the degrees that they offer first, right? And then they start going into some different areas, okay? So some of your kids already know they want to study engineering. In the case of my son, my husband is an electrical engineer. He has known that he was going to be an engineer since he was 2 or 3 years old, and an electrical engineer since he was like in the 4th grade. And so for us, our family, this was very simple. My husband went to Prairie View, the Prairie View A&M University, and so my son was going to go to the Prairie View A&M University. So this was really, really easy for us. Your kids may not know that, and so that's fine. You got two choices, right? You have one choice, which is you can select a plan that you know gives them the core credits that they need, or you can give them an opportunity to do some exploration. If you go the exploration route, right, you're not gonna, you know, maximize every single credit toward the degree plan. But every family is different, every kid is different, and um, you know, we just go from there. So I'm going to pretend like whoever we're looking at today wants to study criminal justice. They're going to go to Sam Houston State University, is known for their criminal justice programs. Your kid is going to go. They're going to get started with their criminal justice work, and they're gonna transfer to Sam Houston, and that's your plan. So you want to make sure that we that they're studying the criminal justice year, because most of these programs are going to transfer. So there's two things that we need to look at, okay? And I'm going to go out here and we're just going to figure out where they're showing which classes are the classes for, yeah, we just keep scrolling. All right, so here they show, in order to get an associate's degree in criminal justice, these are all the classes that one has to take, okay? Got an English class, history, some criminal justice, there's a gym class. Um, we need to take a sidebar to talk about credits, okay? So remember, in high school, every semester class is worth half a credit, right? If I'm a freshman and I take English 1, I get half a credit for the first semester, half a credit for the second semester, I get 1 credit, okay? So in college, we're talking about credit hours. They kind of mean similar things, but basically every class that your child will take, every semester course, will be between 1 and 4 hours, okay? So you see some of these classes are 4, some of them might be 2, but typically the average course will be 3 hours, but then you have some classes that are 1 hour and 4 hours. The 4-hour courses are typically science courses that will have a lab component, and that lab component is worth 1 hour. Um, at some community colleges, you're able to take the lecture portion of the science class separate from the lab, and so you'll see the 3-hour class and the 1-hour class. At Lone Star College, it looks like their science classes are the 4-hour classes. The labs come together with it. They're scheduled together, so it's worth 4 hours. So what does that mean to you? Okay, what does that mean to you? I'm going to come back over here to this planning sheet and I'm going to type something. I'm going to get rid of this. This was just the data that I had typed in to show you what was on that transcript that you requested. But we don't need that anymore. I'm going to put some sidebar information here. Okay, so I'm gonna say this, okay? So for a 3 credit hour class, I'm standard typically using a half of a credit. Okay, so so if a college course is worth 3 hours, usually I'm going to assign a half a credit to that class over on the transcript. Okay, for a 4-hour class, I'm going to assign a half a credit. I mean a whole credit. I'm sorry. A 4-hour class, a class with a lab, is significantly more difficult than a 3-hour class. And the reason I'm doing this also is because at the high school, when they offer dual credit science courses, they will say, okay, chemistry, advanced chemistry. That class is over an entire year, and they only offer that you end up getting a 4 credit um, 4 credits for the college. You don't get 6 credits. So because we're at the college and they're not allowing you to take a 4 credit hour class over 2 semesters, you're taking it over 1 semester, we're going to give our kid 1 credit for that. Okay. For a 1 hour class, I am giving a half a credit. And for a 2 hour class, I am giving a half a credit. Okay. This is this is what I did for my son. 95% of the time. What were the exceptions to that was that there are really only 2 English classes that he needed on the transfer plan that the degree plan that he was using. Okay. And so remember, he started like in the middle of 10th grade. He had gotten credit, I think, for English 1 and English 2. He needed 2 more full credits of English, right? 11th grade English and 12th grade English. But there were really only 2 English classes that he needed at the college. So by my own conversion here, right, he was only going to get 3 hours for those 2. I didn't want him to take any more English. I didn't think it was necessary. So I gave him 1 credit hour for each of those for English 1A. And for this one, I gave, for the, I guess, the English 1301, which this is a standard course. For English 1301, I gave him, it was a 3-hour class. I gave him 1 full credit for high school. And English 1302, I did the same. And then I made it done. So remember that these are just guidelines, right? Like you want to have a standard that you go by, but it's your show, it's your school. You can make some changes to those rules, or just kind of to do what you need to do to accomplish what you're trying to do. The whole purpose of moving them out of the high school so that we don't have to be bound by the ridiculous rules that they have there, that we can give our children the education that we believe they need. That is the power of homeschool. So here we go. Let's go with this mapping. Okay. I want to take just a very short pause. If I have time after I finish these basic videos telling you what I did, I will explain more about the core curriculum. But the state of Texas has a 42 credit hour core curriculum that is the same requirements at every college, every state college or university in Texas. And the benefit of finishing those 42 hours is that you when you transfer from the community college your credits to a university, the university cannot force you to retake any classes. So every college or university will have a different group of classes that say, okay, there's a English component or speech component, language component, and these are the classes at Lone Star College that fulfill them. Well, over here at Blinn College there's a different set of classes. Well, if you finish all 42 hours at one school, then and you go to another school, they can't ask you to retake it. Those any of those classes. They have to take the classes that you took to complete that core curriculum, and they have to accept it if they accept you as a student. So keep that in mind, is that with every associate's degree program, it includes that 42 hours of base work. So if you don't feel like you're going to be able to finish everything, trying to fit in that 42 hours of core curriculum is a good idea. However, remember that you don't want your kids to be bored, right? At high school, they have all these rules. You got to take this class, you got to take that class. And then it's like sometimes it's classes that they don't care about. The power that you have here is that your child can take classes that interest them. So we have to weigh the transferability with the goals that we have for their overall education. So again, maybe later I'll be able to talk about that more, but right now I'm just going to stick to this because I promised I was going to keep these videos under half an hour. So where are we going to go? English 1301. We're going to try this one. Okay. Oh, okay. English 1301. I'm going to put that is what we're going to put here for the second half of English 2. Okay. I still got 4 credits. So probably I'm going to have to use 3 classes to satisfy this. But we'll see. Okay, I'm just going to keep going here and then I'll tweak it later. History 1311. This is U.S. history. This is the same class that they take in junior year. So history 1301, history 1302 is probably on here as well. Maybe it's not. Okay, we'll just take history 1301. I'm going to make that for my U.S. history class for here. Okay, so everywhere I'm typing in yellow, these are the classes that I'm planning to take to meet my degree requirements, for my diploma requirements. Intro to criminal justice. Okay, so here's where we start in some liberties, y'all. Is criminal justice a science class? Is it a humanities class? Is it a social studies class? You decide, right? It's not really science, so I'm gonna put this criminal justice class in one of 3 categories. I'm either gonna put it in electives, right? I don't have that many electives left here, so there's that. um or I'm going to put it in um I don't really have any places. I don't want to steal electives because maybe my kid wants to take a music class. So this is what I'm gonna do. This is where I'm gonna get creative and I'm gonna add some new columns here. I know that my child is gonna need to take a good number of I've got four other classes to work with if I want them to be on a 26 credit plan. So I'm just gonna say that this is gonna be their criminal justice endorsement. Okay, I get to do this because I'm running my own school. Okay, so I'm giving them 4 credit hours, right? Now that's going to take this down to, where is this to be 23? Let's change that to be 27. This now their degree plan is 26 hours. Okay, just that fast. I switched this up. So now I have all of these other classes that I can add on here. This is the flexibility, right, of doing this myself. I get to decide what they're taking, okay? And so far, we get to fix this. I'm going to move this to 27. Again, y'all, I'm an anal computer programmer, so I have to fix these. All right, here we go. So I'm going to put that criminal justice class here. That's where it goes. And I'm going to put every single other criminal justice class that's on this plan in one of those. So criminal justice 1301. Is going to go there. This physical education requirement, well, I've already really met the PE requirement, or have I? Yeah, we had athletics here for physical education. So I need to take this physical education class if I want to finish this degree. So I can't just skip it. But I'm gonna wait because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish all these classes with the opportunity with the time that I have. And this physical education class is part of the core curriculum. So you can put it as elective. Let's go ahead and just do it. We'll map every class so we're being true to this exercise. Right? And remember that I'm giving half a credit for that. Education 1300 learning framework. So I think this is one of these classes. It's just like helping kids figure out how to be successful in college, what their learning styles are. We don't want to skip this class. There's probably another class that could take you see this or elective of any transfer. Um, I can't remember if my son took this class or not. My oldest son took it for sure, and he got a lot out of that. They kept them taking a lot of little exams to find out their personality type and their learning type. But again, here's where if you don't feel like they need that, you can, a music class, whatever. Um, this is any academic transfer course. So, wow, there's a free class. So I'm going to put Education 1300 because it's on the paper. But again, this is an opportunity for you. Where are we going to put that? We're going to put that over here, I guess. I'm going to put it in this English class because that's when I know that I need to English 13 education 1300. And why am I putting it there? Because I can. Okay, and this is going to give me that fewer classes that I have to worry about on that English situation. Okay, so actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to put English 1301 here, and I'm going to put the education 1300 here. And so now what I did for my son, again, we're going to leave these two blank here, right? But if you know your kid hates English, why not just let them take English 1301 for junior and English 1302 for senior, and you're done. And then, or you can put some other classes there. It's on you, right? But let's try to finish this out so we see what this mapping is. So the English 1302 was there. I'm going to put it here. Why are we not worrying about the order of these classes? Because what we need to do before we talk about the order is we need to make sure that we know the classes that they're going to be able to take. So we got to do these two things, like, one thing at a time. We'll figure out the order of these after. That's going to be, when we build our course list and plan. When we build a plan, we're building our course list right now. And in the process of doing that, we're reworking the graduation plan. That was me adding these 4 classes. So I have these numbered, but these are just kind of things we're all doing at the same time. Okay. So I'm going to build I'm building my course plan right now. And then afterwards, then I'll go and I'll build a semester by semester list to give me kind of a high level plan of what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to be done. So now I'm already on the second semester, English 1302, Criminal Justice 1306. And so forth. Okay. You guys see, I'm not going to waste the time in the video making every single one of these, but I'm going to finish it out and I'm going to show you what this looks like. Okay, so I filled out all the classes on my list all the way down to the end. I got the whole thing. So now I've got to go back and kind of rework this list to see how I'm going to, if I need to make any modifications. So what are the colorful things that I did? So for this degree plan, they needed 2 science classes. Remember that I needed 3 science classes. That's what I've had on my degree plan. I didn't modify it. And I had only taken 1.5. So I'm gonna do 1 science class, and for that, I'm just gonna give half a credit. But then for high school, then the other one, I'm gonna give a whole credit so that I can maximize. So this core science, I'm gonna put a dash here. This is gonna be for the one, that this one is gonna meet both of those requirements for both semesters, but I'm gonna make this one just meet one. So maybe I make this like an easier science class, geology or something, and this one a harder one, chemistry. It's your world. You do what you want to do. Okay. So I've got some other places where I'm planning to do some creative things, but let's just talk about it. What we're gonna do. Okay, the English, if your kid just only wants to do these classes, like this is the 60 hours, so then we're gonna do what I did, right? We're gonna make this English 1301 be 1 credit on our homeschool transcript, and I don't need anything else here to do that, to fill this in. So everywhere where I have blanks, I need to go and address them and have a plan for how I'm going to handle this on the transcript that I'm going to make. That's the transcript that we're going to send to the universities when they apply, because this needs to work out if we're going to keep this 26 hours. So I have choices of what I can do. I can modify these hours, I can modify these classes, or I can modify these plans. This is the beauty of this, and I'm gonna see this flourish right now. So remember, our hypothetical student that we're working with is leaving the high school after the first semester of 10th grade. Okay, those were the classes that we said we were working with, and he had only done half of geometry. Okay, so they don't offer geometry really at the community college. Some of y'all are going to be hating me for this, but I'm just going to say it. My bachelor's degree is in mathematics, and so I can say it with certainty. They don't need whatever they're learning in that class is a bunch of nonsense proofs and stuff. Like a person who is going to be a um a parole officer or a constable, like who cares? So I'm just going to change this to say a math. I'm not going to make it geometry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this geometry half credit that he had, and then I'll give another a math class, right? We'll make it an elective. It could be statistics or, the easiest math class or a harder one, whatever, right? Just something that's on the list that will go in line with the other math class that he has to take. Um, this math class, I'm going to make it count for 1, so they only have one credit instead of a half a credit, so they only have to take 2, and so then now I'm done with my math. Okay, it was the same thing for history. We had the history 1301 on the list. It didn't require, so I got to do another backtrack here. So it's telling us that it needs to do a core American history, and it gives you an option of classes, right? So history 1302 is a class you can take, but at Lone Star College, I'm not going to go here, y'all can go check this out yourselves. You will click on this and it's going to say, okay, well, these are all the classes that they can take. why this is important is because not every semester at the time that you enroll will they have the class that you want in the format that you want it at the day and time that you want it. So let's say you're trying to get all your classes on Tuesday, Thursday, right? Um, and you know, after you go and you say there's only offering a couple of sections of the science class you need and the criminal justice class you need, so then history is kind of like the last man standing, but your child wants to take that in person and right after lunch so you can come pick them up at 3:30 because they don't have their own car. Well, then you have to look at what's available. So we're not going to type in history 1302. We're going to take advantage of the fact that there are many classes that they have available to them, and hopefully that class will be offered. Okay, so remember this government and economics thing. Okay, so there were two government classes. There was government 2305 on the plan, and then there was government 2306. um I think government 2306, I put it down here in the endorsements, but I can put it up here. Right? So then each of those classes, I'm going to give it the half credit. I'm going to change this from government and economics now to just government because, again, it's my homeschool. I get to do what I want. And now, since I don't have this other thing, I'm gonna be so smooth with this. I'm gonna change my my requirement to point 0.5 because I don't want them to take any other classes that are on the list. So I'm gonna move this one up here. Shoot, sorry. And then I'm going to make this a class that nobody needs. This isn't a class that we're ever going to take. I'm just going to make this grayed out color. We're not taking that class. So now I've mapped every single class, okay, to a box in here. Now everything that's on the yellow, this is the course list, right? This is my plan for how the college classes are going to map to the high school classes, and and now I'm good to go, right? I've got a list of classes I need, and now I'm ready to move on to my next step of creating a homeschool transcript and then my enrollment steps. So check out the next video. I'm going to wrap this up explaining about the enrollment and the transcript, and then you're going to be all set to get your kid going.